in the last group stage game. In the first stage, good evening to everyone. Like you say, we had a very painful defeat on the weekend. We beat Karabakh as well. We got 3 points there on the board in the Champions League. We want to continue that form. We're up against a tough opponent tomorrow. We're going to see if we can get the win tomorrow. How's everyone physically? How's everyone's bodies after this bad run? How do you feel before a massive date tomorrow night here? I think that, as you said before, everything's in the past now. The bad run not been the best results recently, but no one's to blame. It's a very important match tomorrow night in a massive stadium, fantastic ground, and a big opponent, and it's going to be a beautiful game to play in. Jesus, how are you personally? You come for a team where you played every game, every minute, and people set up really to suit your style of play. But what's it like here for your new team when you're not playing as regularly? I think it always takes a time to secure your spot in the first 11. Many times down the sides, on the wing, people are playing in my position, but it takes a bit of time to settle in. I think Lekwe and Andone, Julia Gama are fullback as well. It's competition and it's good for everyone. There was a game 31 years ago here. Has anyone spoken to you about the game when they played here in the UEFA Cup? And what do you think about the 3,000 fans making the journey tomorrow? First place, I don't have any kind of knowledge of that. The assistant coach told us about this game, and Thiganda played well. About the second part of the question, it's crazy that many fans are coming here. It's fantastic. Sometimes the fans are high up in the stadium, but I think we're gonna feel them tomorrow and feel their support, and we're privileged that we have that great support. What's missing for you, and what you're missing to not have that kind of being a regular starter? When you come here as a biggish signing for quite a bit of money, why are you not playing? What do you think's missing? I think I've got room for improvement for sure. It takes time to settle in, but we've got some good players here in the squad. And Andone Leku have been playing really well in most games. Andone also played well against La Real también, against Villarreal also. I think competition's good and it's going to make us all better. I wanted to ask you, how's the team? Is there a bit of anxiety in the squad for the recent bad results and the absolute it's vital to pick up points tomorrow? How do you feel? We knew all along that this was a tough competition. We knew that you needed kind of 11, 12 points to qualify. We know it's not going to be here. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. Tough teams like Dortmund and Arsenal. Karabakh's given us confidence, and we've got to carry on the same direction that we started in that game against Karabakh. What's the message from the manager? What's the dressing room like? It's a really juicy tie tomorrow night. I think the manager says that the league's very, very important, and that's why we qualified for the Champions League with the great season we had last year. But also, the manager's bright and intelligent. He knows the importance of this competition as well. I think the league gives you your bread and butter, but this is the kind of icing on the cake. What do you know about Newcastle? Have you seen images of them? Have you seen footage of Newcastle, studied them? We've seen videos, yeah. Tomorrow we'll see in real life. But we know about their players. We know they've got some top players. Trippier, we know all about from his time at Atletico Madrid. We're talking about big players, star players. It's a very physical side, and they run and they close down the space as well. What mark would you give yourselves this season so far? I wouldn't. I think it's a bit soon to be giving anybody any marks out of 10. There's a lot of the season still to play. I'll give myself a mark out of 10 at the end of the season. There's a long time before we do that. Bit inconsistent recently in the form. One or two injuries. Having so many injuries, players not being able to come over on the plane, like the Williams, like Yuri, Iñaki, and Marwan. Long-term absentees as well. What was the morale like on the plane? With so many people missing. I think they are very, very important players for us, as you just said. Transcendental players, if you like, key players. But we've got to concentrate on the people who've travelled, not the ones who've left behind. They're the players who are going to take the game to Newcastle tomorrow, going to try and win in this amazing ground. We've got to think about our strengths and the players who are here, and the players who make up the squad and the trip. The fact that the team isn't in the same form as last season, does that worry you? I think we suffered when we weren't playing. When I wasn't playing, I think it's a team that with Ernesto, the manager, we've always been on form. Every team has a negative run from time to time, and if everyone was on a positive run and a winning run all the time, everyone would be top of the table. So I think we enjoyed last season, but we're enjoying this season as well. In a scene like this tomorrow, like a setting like this tomorrow, do you think it'd be a good chance to turn things around this season in this difficult run and put an end to it? I don't think the objective is making a claim for my place. I think it's all relative. The most important thing is that the team get 3 points. We go out to try and win. And if I can give my best account of myself for the team, then that's good. We've not managed to do that in the early stages of this competition. One question. What sort of game are you expecting tomorrow? And what would you like the game to go like? Score a goal first, get ahead? How do you see it going tomorrow? I think that what I would imagine is that we'll be really switched on, we'll be going for it, we'll be up for it, we'll be present. These sort of games away from home, the start of the game is really important, how you start off. Get to half-time in the game. If we can get ahead in the scoreline, great. But it's difficult to score goals away from home. Keep the score down to 0, don't concede, and then hopefully we can achieve something important. Thank you. Hi, good evening, Ernesto. I don't know if you could be worried about... That's not your invention. I'll ask you another way. Are you worried about how the team's going at the moment? We're kind of a bit of a negative spiral, You've got loads of people missing from the squad. Results haven't been good. Are you managing the dressing room? Are you worried? No, I'm not worried. The ones who aren't on the list, Nico, Yuri, Julian, they're not fit to play, so that's why they're not on the list. But we've got players of quality in this squad that we travel with. They deserve to be in the list, called up. But obviously we're missing a few. We lost the game against La Real, but we're in this competition now. We were okay in the first half against Dortmund. Karabag, we played well. So we're going to try continue that form that we started against Karabag and do what we can, whatever's possible with the players that we're here with. We want to play well tomorrow night, put in a good show. Try and win, obviously. The injuries for tomorrow, could they be back for Sunday? How is it generally? Yuri, he could possibly be fit for the weekend, yeah, but I think he's going to recover, but Nico, we'll see. It's 50-50 maybe.
del pubis que
he's got a problem with
hace 2
the
semanas jugó en 3
groin
partidos
area,
consecutivos y está
pubis.
acusando un poco
Struggled
lo que
a
es
few
esa
weeks
lesión,
ago.
que va y viene y sube y
It's a
baja.
kind of an injury which comes and goes almost, you know. It's
Y
more
vamos a ver
severe at
si
times.
puede estar Nico, pero bueno,
We don't know if
en principio
Nico's going to
pensamos que
be
yo
there
sí
for
puede estar.
Sunday, but maybe he will be. What message would you send to the 3,000 fans who are probably a bit, to all fans who are a bit down about results and how we've been performing recently? What message do you have for them?
Pues que esto es fútbol.
This is football,
Que,
and that we
a lo largo de
over a season, a number of seasons and years, you can have moments where you're better and some moments where you're worse in terms of results and scorelines.
Y en ese sentido, pues
in that sense,
el otro día
the other day,
los resultados que estamos cosechando son bastante
we've
ajustados,
not been getting great results, but a lot of the scorelines have been very tight and close run.
Haber conseguido más puntos en Liga.
We'd love to have got more points on the board in the league, but the important thing for us is
a partir de ahora.
It's what we do from now on rather than what we've done over the last few games. We're going to try in every game that's coming up from now on. Seeing the amount of injuries that you've got in the game at Manchester United last season, you had quite a few absent players. Could that be kind of like a motivating factor that you put in a good performance in Manchester? I think it's a different sort of game, isn't it? I think that it was the last part of the season, so you can't really compare the two. We'd lost the first leg as well, and we didn't have many forwards. Similar in the sense of this start of this season as well, we're missing a few people up front. But this game tomorrow is an open game. We're both going for 3 points. We've got a few disadvantages injury-wise, but we're here. We want to give a real good, keep going the good form that we showed against Karabag, and so continue our better form in the Champions League. We want to try and get a good result. We come here with good intentions, positive ideas of, we put the defeat on Sunday behind us and we're in a different competition, a different tournament, and we'll be giving our best. In spite of all the injuries, the numerous injuries, and the form in the last few games, can you be optimistic tomorrow about maybe getting the second victory in the Champions League? That's what we want, of course. Optimism is, or pessimism regarding a game. It's a choice, it's a free choice for everyone, isn't it? You can be as optimistic or pessimistic. It's down to the individual. We prepare a game to win, not to lose. As the game approaches and you get closer to the game, we think positively. We're going to give everything we can. There'll be an amazing atmosphere tomorrow. We're going to try do what we're going to try and make sure the game falls in our favour and things go for us tomorrow. Are you being quite conservative in terms of Nico recovering? Would it be on the agenda to maybe operate on Nico? I'm not a doctor, but I don't know. I can't really answer in that sense. I'm not a medical expert. We'll see. Is there an excessive responsibility on yourselves, extra pressure because of the bad results? 53,000 fans shouting for Newcastle. It's not a team that's in Europe every year.
No.
Does that affect how you approach the game? Of course we have a responsibility to go into the game and try and win it. Obviously it's a game.
Pues bueno, como tú dices, además que
say,
a nosotros nos trae recuerdos de cuando
estaba
en el equipo ya jugamos aquí una eliminatoria.
Other occasions when we played here years ago in a knockout tournament in the UEFA. But
es una ilusión.
it fills you with hope. We've got desire and hope. You're responsible for defending the colours of your club and fighting for your club, doing the best for your team. No game is easy, and this isn't. Newcastle's a great side, obviously. They've got 3 more points in the league phase than us. And they'll try and take the initiative because they're at home. But it's another opportunity for us to pick up some points, and we go into every game like that, hoping to pick up points. Maybe it's not necessary that we stay back and defend. I don't think there's an extra responsibility. There's not a big weight on our shoulders. We'll be free and have the liberty to play our own game. We won't be suffering from excessive pressure that stops us from freeing up and playing. In terms of injuries, it depends on each person. If someone breaks a cruciate ligament, what can you do? You can get groin injuries, you can get stomach injuries. It can happen in training, it can happen in games. We've got 2 cruciate injuries at the moment. That's not good. I don't think we're the only team that injuries happen to, of course. There's so many games. Every time you play and train, you've got to admit that there are more possibilities, more chance of getting injured. But we can't offer this as an excuse. You've just got to make do with it and try and get over this period and picking up as many points as you can throughout that period of injuries. Newcastle have some tall lads, some plenty of 6-footers. Are you worried about their height at the dead ball situations? And tactically, what sort of Newcastle are you waiting to see tomorrow? What do you expect? How they're going to play? I think they play with a high tempo. They press high up the field very strongly. They play high up the field and try and win the ball back in your area of the field. Good tactician, the manager. The centre forward, the 2 defenders and the left back, 2 central defenders and left back are all really tall. And they can create problems. Maybe 1m91 or 1m90. We've got to try and defend it, We'll be prepared, we know they've got height. It's tough for us. It's tough for Premier League sides to defend against these lads. So it's tough for us. So we've got to deal with it. So we're on a bad run of results these last few months. So do you look as manager to change things? Or do you kind of stick with the methods that have brought you this far? I think in truth, we're confident in what we've done so far. We stick with what we've got. If you start doubting yourself on one little thing or another issue, maybe that's not good. Maybe I'll just do tiny little changes here and there, maybe a little half turn here and there. The team were playing at a fantastically high level last season. And things were great last season. Maybe we've got to recover that kind of feeling and that sensation that we had last season in the dressing room. But now, other circumstances dictate how you feel. Injuries, the fact that results haven't been going for us. They've not been going for us in tight games. We've not had the rub of the green, and maybe results have gone against us, whereas last season they went for us. Well, that's football, and you have to deal with it. No one has. You never follow kind of the same journey as you did the previous year. Every season is different. But you've got to respond. You've got to reply to this. What would you say to the 3,000 fans who are travelling to get behind you and support you? And what do you say to the dressing room? The importance of this competition, how do you face up to this situation? Players who aren't used to playing quite so often, how do you motivate the side? What's your message to the dressing room? It's an opportunity, isn't it, for the new lads who are coming in? Be brave. Dare to try stuff. We've got to show what we are as a team. We always. The intention is to give a good account of ourselves. Maybe against Dortmund we didn't press as high up the field as we have been doing in the past. Our idea is always, and our intention is to do what we've done, which has brought us to this point so far, and then be on the front foot, you know, be confident, dare to try stuff, and we'll be trying right until the last minute of the game. You know, we lost at the weekend, but we tried. You know, we're on the right track. You know, we showed good things against La Real, but we lost in the last minute. Do you think you might be making changes in the middle of the park from the La Real game in Anoeta? Maybe. There are players on the fringe, players who have had to take care of injury-wise and how many minutes they've played. Jauregui is going to be playing. He's, you know, some of them have got a lot of games in their legs, so we'll see. We'll see if we make changes. Might be the odd change. But we have to try and keep the team fresh and fit, but also we always want to win. Does the spirit of knocking Newcastle out 30 years ago, can you get something from that? I was injured, I was on crutches, I wasn't featuring, but yeah. My aim as a player was to play in Europe, and I only played in one game. I got injured. I didn't manage to play here or in the second leg. But I can remember the occasion, watching it. But the atmosphere, I wasn't here, but I experienced the atmosphere in San Mamés on my crutches. But it was an amazing atmosphere, I remember. I'd love it if we could repeat the result. But yeah, it's something to refer back to.
Venga, gracias, Zeus.